Good morning, YouTube. Been a while since we've made a video. A few months since we've made a new video. We've been really busy. What I kind of wanted to do is just make a video talking about why I think that this year has been successful for us. Because I think it has. This is our first year in business. I want to share with you a little bit about some of the stuff we're doing. Through the course of the day, we're going to be out mowing, and I'm going to show you some of the yards we've done, and I also will show you how we go about bidding some of these yards. We've definitely adjusted and changed that as the years gone by, as the season's gone by. I still have my part-time job at O'Reilly's. We will probably, we're looking at other seasonal jobs because things that are happening there, we just not exactly happy, but truth be known, we'll probably just stick it out, because in the spring, when mowing season kicks up next year, probably in March, I'm going to quit, and just next year going to be full-time mowing, nothing else but full-time mowing. Not have a part-time job. I've found that this year the part-time job has really kind of stood in the way and made it harder for me. And that being said, this week here, last week, I had a sinus infection, and one of our kids were sick and in and out of the emergency room and stuff like that. But this week I found I've hit that wall that Greg Chisholm talks about on occasion. I don't want to be out mowing today.
Me neither.
Yeah, he doesn't either. We have, I don't know the exact number, we've looked at it before, but it's over 30 yards that we have now that we do regularly. And talking about what I think this year's been a success. For one, we haven't lost any yards due to people not happy with the quality of work we do. I have dropped 1 yard because she was so picky about when we could be there, and I just said, forget it, I'm not doing that one anymore.
And we dropped 1 because he still hasn't paid us.
And 1 because we still haven't been paid. All right, and last time I mowed it was over a month ago, and I went back, and called him, and finally I called him at home, and he said, oh, well, I'll have to cash my check and come back around 5:30. We came back around 6:30, and he was nowhere to be found. Could never raise him on the phone. So I don't get hard up on that. I don't like chasing people down over money. My rule of thumb, if someone can't pay me, tell me. I've got a yard now that the guy, I've cut his yard twice, and he hasn't paid me either time. Dude's in a wheelchair. He came out the first time I mowed it, and then the second time said, you don't have to mow it. I know I asked you to come mow it. I just can't pay. I've been sick. I've been in the hospital, and I haven't been able to do any work or anything. I just don't have the money to pay you. And I said, don't worry about it. I got you covered. And I leave him a little note on the door. So, I cut your yard today. Pay what you can when you can. And I don't worry about it. He communicated with me. That's my rule of thumb. If a customer communicates with me, then and lets me know what's going on, I'm not going to chase them down for money. They'll pay what they can when they can. But if they don't communicate with me and they're dodging me, I'm not going to keep going back and mowing. I'm just going to quit mowing their yard. And so I do have 1 that I dropped because he doesn't. There's no communication at all, and he doesn't pay me. And then 1 I dropped, she was nice, super nice. I liked the lady, but she was just weird about when you could be there. She does massage therapy at her house, and got dogs that you can't mow when the dog. She didn't want the backyard mowed because of the dogs. She just wanted me to do her front yard, and it's a big corner lot, a lot of grass to mow. But that's all she wanted was the front. But I can't do it when she's not home because the dogs are out, and she doesn't want me to mow with the dogs there, because it makes the dogs go nuts. Dogs start barking and stuff, and those are her precious babies, and I don't know. It was just weird. And so we'd set up a time, say 4:30 in the afternoon on this day. And then all of a sudden something came up. She had somebody stop by to do the massage therapy. So, oh no, can you come back at 6? So, you might be done with everything and ready to get over there, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you got time to get over there today. But you have to sit around for 2 or 3 hours doing nothing because, and of course now at this point in the game that probably wouldn't be as big a deal because we've just got enough yards where we would just make her last. And I've got another lady like that really wants to be home. If she's not home, it's not that big a deal, but she really wants to be home when we mow because she wants to make sure she's there to pay us. And so we just make her last, and the sun's usually going down as we're finishing up her yard. That's just the way it is. But again, talking about things that have made us successful this year. Nobody has dropped us because of quality of work. And I guess there's 2 points I really want to hit on. Is one, you don't want, not every yard requires a big mower. Sometimes you need the small mowers, the 21-inch mowers, to make a customer happy and to do the quality job that yard demands. We've got a couple like that. They're just heavily landscaped yards, and the big mowers scalp, and I don't care how high you put the deck, they scalp. And she fired her lawn care crew, and she actually paid for another lady that's a friend of hers for her yard to be done, which they didn't have a problem at that one, but because they had a problem at hers, they lost both accounts, and we picked up both accounts. And the other lady we used the big mower on, but hers, the actual lady paying, we used the 21-inch mowers. It doesn't take a long time for us to get in and out, and it pays really well. I mean, we make $100 a week off of her between doing those 2 yards. And between doing the 2 yards, it probably takes us 45 minutes to an hour to do both yards. And there's $100 a week that we make off of it. So I'd say it's well worth having the 21-inch mowers and going to work with those. But not every yard's the same. Be willing to adjust your deck height depending on the yard you're cutting, and do quality work. Make sure everything's cleaned up. The other is be dependable. If you're not going to make it, call the customer and let them know that you're not going to make it. An idea that we picked up from Keith Kelfis was you don't have to tell them this is my sob story. People don't care. What has worked really well is what he said. This was his idea, not mine. He said just tell them you've had a backup in your schedule and you're having to move them back. And I've yet to have one person upset with us. On the contrary, they're, oh, well, thanks for calling me and let me know what's going on. As long as they know, and they know that you hadn't forgotten them, they know that you're coming, they're happy with that. And that's been our experience. That's the 2 points I'm going to make. Right this second, we're fixing to go into Kroger here and get some bottled water and maybe a little sneaky snack. So, and then we'll talk some more here in just a minute. Keep a water ice chest here. You know, I've got an ice maker at home in the refrigerator. That's just what we use for ice most of the time. Keep some Gatorades. My wife likes juice, so we keep some apple juice in here, and water bottles. Keep water bottles. During June through the first part of September, it would be, with the heat index, the humidity made it like it was well over 100 degrees, in the 120s as a matter of fact. But we're still using the Cub Cadet. We're still loving it. Here's Jenny. She's coming to get some water. She's running a, huh?
She's a what?
She's a beautiful love of my life. We're still using the Honda. We got the little Troy belt too. That's the one that's down. The Honda has given us some problems this year too. We can talk about that later. So using the PB 413H. We bought I still have the SRM 210. We bought an SRM 225, and we absolutely love it. That thing is awesome. I use the ugly line, the 105. Little brother, the Cub Cadet, is still just a kick-ass lawnmower. That thing's really good. We have had some problems with the reverse on it, but I never had to take it in. It just kind of worked itself out. Reverse didn't want to work real well, and when we got back from Colorado, but it seems to have kind of worked itself out, and we keep Roundup. Now we round up every yard. I don't worry about trimming in the cracks and everything. I round up it. But this yard here, we kind of start with a base price of doing the works. The front, the back, keeping the hedges trimmed, edging, blowing, mowing, the whole 9 yards. We kind of start, our base price is $35 to do front and rear, front and back. If you're just wanting the front done or just wanting the back done, the base price starts at $25. right? This yard is inside my area. It's kind of at the outskirts of my area, but it's inside the area I want to be in, close to my house. So it stays at 35. If it were outside of the area I want to be in, that instantly takes it to 40, right? But it's not. It's inside my area, so it stays at 35. Now, this yard, again, this yard is $35 yard because it was before I started this billing plan. And next year, I won't change her. She'll stay. She pays good. She's here, she'll pay me every time. I've never not gotten paid, never had to wait for my money. She'll have a check waiting here for me. And like one time she was in the hospital and she actually sent her granddaughter over here, had her call us, said, call me whenever you're gonna be at the house and I'll meet you over there with a check. So while we're here mowing, we will get a check for the money every time. Don't have to wait. So hers will stay at 35. But she doesn't want the riding lawnmower ran in her yard, right? So this is the way the new billing runs. Doesn't want the riding lawnmower run in her yard. So the front yard having to use the push mower adds $5. So now it's 40. Can't even get the riding lawnmower into the back. That makes it 45. Then there's a lot of trimming. You'll see all this extra stuff here in the yard. Let me show you the backyard. You have all that extra stuff in the backyard as well. So there's a lot of extra trimming. That takes it to 50. So this would be a $50 yard. Normally I would be back here with the other push mower and go ahead and get started on the back after I'm done trimming, but we're down. Our other push mower's down. But you can see a heavily landscaped yard. It's really pretty. It's a heavily landscaped yard. The back hasn't been cut yet. So you'd get an extra $5 for this. So this would be a $50 lawn to mow. It starts at 35. Can't use the rider in the front, makes it 40. Can't use the rider in the back, makes it 45. A lot of extra trimming, makes it 50. See how that works? That's how I bid it. If it were a corner lot, there would be another $5. Like I said, if it's outside the area I want to be, close to my house, there's another $5. So that's kind of how we do it. And like when we took this yard over, all through these cracks and stuff, there was tons of stuff grown up, grass and weeds and stuff growing up through the cracks, chickweed and stuff. We keep it sprayed with Roundup. I've never trimmed it with the trimmer. See, I've got some growing up there and there. I've never, and right there now, I've never trimmed it with a trimmer. I hit it with Roundup every time we come out. And see, all along here in the crack, there was stuff growing. But we trim all that out with Roundup. And that's the way we do it. With the thing I experienced, if I come through trimming that, and I'm going to add some extra time, and then it wears out my trimmer string quicker. But next week I come out and it's all grown back up like I never trimmed it. But as I round up it, it goes away and stays away. So, and I will even come into like these beds. We'll have extra stuff growing up in there, and I'll round up the extra stuff that's growing up in there that's not supposed to be, and round up that stuff and kill it. Alright, this is another one of our yards. We're all done. Jenny's just mixing up some more Roundup for the yard now. I'll show you what we actually use. It's not really Roundup. I forget what it's called. We buy it at Colonial Hardware. It's really good stuff. But talking about this yard, all we do is the front yard. This yard is on the outer edges of the neighborhood that we like to mow, of the area we want to mow. But it is within that area, so we do this one for 25. 10 minutes we're in and out of this yard. And you'll notice, we clean the street up when we're done, clean the driveway. But people, this is a neighborhood where everybody blows their stuff out into the street. So all you have to do is care just a little bit, and your yard's really going to shine. I think this is a predominantly crabgrass, has a lot of chickweed yard. But just, having the edging clean like this and the streets clean, we blow it back up in here. Then you look at, like this is the next door neighbor's yard over here, and most of these yards are the same. Sidewalk is, you come down through here nice and clean, good sharp lines, clean. Look at this, they just mowed this one this week and no edging. It's overgrown, clippings all over the place, driveway's nasty, grass growing in the cracks and stuff. But so you can really shine really easy. This yard takes us 10 minutes. We're in and out. But I'll talk a little bit about the sprayer. So we went ahead and got this Echo sprayer.
After many tries of
we went through quite a few sprayers. they'd last a week or two. The best one we had before this one was the actual Roundup brand sprayer. It lasts us about 2.5, 3 weeks and then wore out. This Echo sprayer has lasted us for a few months now, and there's still no even signs of any kind of problems. It's heavy though. It is heavy, but because it's 3-gallon sprayer, but it's well worth the extra money. Bonide. Bonide's a brand cleanup weed and grass killer. $16.49 at Colonial Hardware is what we paid for this. Makes 21 gallons, right? The thing Roundup made 18 gallons. And this stuff actually works better than we found the Roundup was working. This stuff, you get, for less money, you get more chemical, and it works better than the Roundup actually worked. We tried the making your own, and for a gallon of vinegar, which is the key ingredient in making your own, a gallon of vinegar was like $3 and something, and that doesn't include the salt and the soap that you have to put in with it too. And so this actually comes out cheaper than that too. So this here is the cheapest, is Bonide. But even buying the Roundup concentrate's cheaper than making your own, I found. And we're not trying to kill a yard. We're just kind of every week or every 2 weeks, being how often we're doing your yard. Like this is a weekly yard. We come by and we're spraying the cracks. So over time, by the end of the season, there's nothing growing. I mean, it takes us a couple of minutes to spray the whole thing because there's nothing to spray.
Alright, YouTube. So we went on vacation last week. Week before last, I guess. One of our yards got really, really gnarly. What? The Cub Cadet kicking butt, kicking grass and taking names. Walk up here, see if we can get a better view. Grass. The problem with this yard is that it's so steep. It grows crazy fast. It's rough. Alright, we'll show you an after picture. Alright, so he's taken one pass over the whole thing. You can see it's just still covered in grass. So now we're going for pass number 2. We've been working in this yard for about 15 minutes. So, Cub Cadet's really made fairly short work of it, but we gotta hit it again, get it cleaned up. Because unlike the other yard crews in town, we don't leave our yards looking like crap. A lot of street to clean up. Haven't even started on this part over here. Alright, so we're taking a quick water break. The big one cut the main part of the yard. And now we're going over it with a push mower. Get all the junk. And I'm about to take the Cub Cadet, or little brother as we call him, in the back. Start tackling that mess. We have now been here for 45 minutes. Alright YouTube, we've been here for about 2 hours now. The yard looks a million times better. I'm just blowing it off and ready to go. That was a big one. We ended up with 7 bags of just clippings of grass. We are tired and sweaty.
Alright, we got this one here. This one we cut 2 weeks ago. And this is outside of my area. This is the one where her husband's house is in my neighborhood. And I cut it, and she liked it, so she fired. She wasn't happy with the guy she had doing it. She said they were scalping it or cutting it too low or something. And she just wasn't happy with the work they were doing. So she was happy with the work I did on her husband's house, so she hired me. This was one of my earlier yards, so it's a $35 yard. But I'll tell you how I would bid this yard today. For one, so this one is I picked up off a referral, and how I'd bid this yard today starts at 35. Right? It's outside of my area, so that bumps it to 40. I can get the big mower in the front and the back, so it stays at 40. Because I use the 42, and there's not any extra trimming or anything like that. So again, it stays at 42, at 40. Okay, so here we are. We're all through, and make up this little tag here. I'll hang on the door because she's not home. I found these to work really, really well. Then they know when they get home that the yard was done. They'll call me and make arrangements to pay me. Here's finished product. Pretty clean. Edging pretty good. It's not perfect, but the pavement isn't exactly straight either.
you're wondering why I may be taking such wide swaths around the trees and around the mailbox, I kind of went wide. When you're using a tractor instead of a zero turn or instead of a push mower or walk behind, it's harder to get up close and make good, sharp, hard turns. You know, your turning angle is greatly reduced. Your turn, the degree of a turn. I'd make a 16-degree turn with the little brother, which is pretty good for a tractor, but it's still only 16 degrees. Doesn't allow for me to get in real close